Well, here we were caught debating a very interesting topic. Which one? That you, Sisto Paz, an expert on this whole subject, would better answer us.
Thank you all very much.
Sorry, but in these 50 years, they have come several times, from what I understand.
And they have not only come, they have always come. There's a 1561 medieval engraving of the German city of Nuremberg in the same place that Hitler, 500 years later, did the great mass gatherings of the National Socialist Party, where people are seen looking at the sky and gigantic objects in the form of cylinders releasing spheres, objects in the form of discs, in the form of crosses, and fighting in the air. Some exploded in the sky and others crashed into the earth. People believed they saw the signs of the end of the world. April 14th of 1561. Within an hour, a spear-headed shaped object appeared, a gigantic 4 kilometers long, dark, triangular object that caused the objects to cluster, and they will go in different directions, ending this galaxy war. But the Bible, 1500 years ago, tells us about the war of the children of light against the children of darkness, the war of angels. 2000 years ago, properly in the Apocalypse, but it is also mentioned in the Old Testament. In the Greek mythology, speaks to us of the war of the Titans, where a group of Greek gods were deported to Tartarus, to the underworld. You have the Mahabharata, the Ramayana in India. It tells us of true galaxy war, always having as its center of their battles our world. That is to say that if the UFOs will appear tomorrow, they have always appeared. Yesterday, there was an appearance of a large UFO in Namatlan, Morelos. Yesterday. We're not talking about tomorrow the 20th. That is, we're talking about yesterday appearing.
Only to understand why we are saying that tomorrow, it is because in 1969 there was a Brazilian medium who said that this date the aliens would come to Earth.
Chico Javier was a medium. That is, those people who incorporate spirits. He, in the 1960s, said that he came to incorporate the spirit of Emmanuel. Emmanuel, according to the Bible, would be God with us, Jesus. Then he began to channel, displace his consciousness, and this entity made him write things that he wrote. He has more than 400 books published. He said that at the end of the 60s, there would be the arrival of man to the moon. And it happened just as he said it. He prophesied that a great climate change was going to take place. I mean, he was already talking all about this, and it really happened. So he says that the hierarchies of light with which he was in contact with told him that a moratorium of 50 years of humanity had begun. That if the humanity did not learn to live with itself and with the planet, a third world war would come by the end of the year 2019. July of 19. A terrible third world war by the end of the year 2019. A terrible war, which would greatly increase climate change, and that would affect most humanity.
I mean, we have done all that.
We have the U.S. fleet with nuclear submarines, with nuclear aircraft carriers in front of Iran. We also have a large number of Russian personnel in Venezuela. We have the North Korean leader launching missiles as if they were fireworks. Please.
I mean that they are no longer perceptible. That is, unidentified flying objects. But that we're going to have a more direct contact with them?
Naturally, yes. In other words, he prophesied not precisely that on July 20th the definitive contact would be given, but that at the end of July, if humanity was not tempted in a third world war, there would never again be a war, which in the end is a very positive prophecy. In other words, if we manage to end this July without a world war, one would never happen again.
And how did the ship arrive yesterday?
Look, if that third world war does not occur, so much information will be released by the governments about the reality of extraterrestrial existence that will facilitate an official and a definitive meeting with aliens.
Why do they make it so mysterious? Let's see the government. Why do they make it so mysterious all this time?
Why have they been hiding it for so long? I mean, for a long time they denied that Area 51 existed. And yet, in 2013, the CIA declared that Area 51 does exist. But it has nothing to do with the aliens. Look, They have denied it for decades, the existence of this base, and now they said that it exists, but it has nothing to do with aliens. Please.
They are going to send a group of people who are going to get in.
The US government has also warned that they will not allow it, and that it really is not easy for you to enter a base. In Area 51 are the remains of the ship that crashed in 1947. On July 2nd of 47, a UFO crashed on a farm estate called Max Brazel, 120 kilometers from the Roswell Air Base. And the rest of the ship and the crew were taken to the Roswell base, where they performed a first autopsy. Hence, the remains of the ship and crew at a Hangar 18th at the Ray Patterson Air Base in Dayton, Ohio, where the Foreign Arms Control is located from the United States. From there, it went to the CIA headquarters underground in Langley, Virginia. And from there, that ends finally in Area 51 in Grownlee, Nevada, which is an ultra-secret base where the CIA experimented with the U-2s, which are high-altitude spy planes. There, the North American Stealth Aircraft Project was developed. The F-117, the F-111, the Black Mantle, the Blackbird, the B-2 Wing Delta Bomber, all developed there. Then, much of that technology that you said...
Yes, we currently have digital technology that was brought from these ships to our cell phones.
That is reverse technology. It's a technology that has been incorporated from extraterrestrial ships that have crashed into our world. Now, they would never have crashed. I mean, our technology is unable to bring down a UFO. Those ships have been shot down by others who are guarding us from those who do not come with good intentions. There's everything in the universe, as there is here on Earth.
So that's why it's a secret. Are they afraid?
Look, it does not matter to the military whether they are extraterrestrials or foreign. From the moment that an identified flying object invades your airspace without you being able to avoid it, it is a national security problem. So you are making a fool of yourself towards the taxpayers because you can't help it. Why have the military? For what reason there are borders if there is an uncontrolled airspace? On the other hand, the business that prospered on Earth that only competes profitably with the international drug trafficking is the sale of weapons. All those countries that we admire are large arms manufacturers and traffickers. If they do not exist, they invent wars. So if these beings are shown to exist and do not come with bad intentions, we would all have to unite as a single great nation in front of the visitors. Better that they find you united and not faced to each other.
What would be your theory of why these beings would want to approach our planet? Aren't they beings with the highest consciousness?
We are their seed. That is, they sowed us here. That is, we are star seeds. Someday our technology will allow us to travel to other planets. And what are we going to be doing there? We're going to make colonies, experiments. We're going to sow life. And when those terrestrial Creoles arise, there will come a time when they will cut ties with us, or we will cut ties with them, so that they can develop themselves. And we will remain in the myths and legends of those other peoples, of those other worlds that the gods or the envoys of the gods or angels came and promised to return one day.
And as we humans destroy the other planets too.
It is not so easy that someone goes to destroy other planets because our galaxy, the Milky Way, according to many people who already claim to have contact with aliens, there is a kind of government that is the galaxy, the Milky Way, has 400 billion stars, 100 billion solar systems in a galaxy of 100 light years in diameter, has a council of 24 beings. These beings call it the Council of the 24 Elders of the Galaxy, or the Council of the Confederation of Worlds, as if they were like the Jedi of the Star Wars. So below these 24 elders, there is a hierarchical order of civilizations. There are the genetic engineers or sowers of life, a kind of cosmetic gardeners. Below the guardians and watchers, and closer to us, are the instructors. So the guardians and watchers do not allow anyone to come with any intention to harm us and anything. Then there's a group of aliens that are guarding the earth. Now, in the past, in the time of the Aztecs, in the time of the Mayas said that their ancestors came from the Pleiades and came to Earth through a snake tail or hollow reed That is a kind of a whole worm or cosmic fold, a dimensional portal. In the past, our relationship with the aliens was like that of an adult with a child. When you're a child, your parents enter your room, they read you a story, they dress and feed you according to your age. When you reach the adolescence, you close your door, you do not allow your parents to enter, and poor thing if they tell you what are you going to dress or what are you going to eat, right? Humanity is currently in a precocious adolescence, and they are waiting, the aliens, for us to reach a responsible youth that allow us to survive the intolerance, the stupidity, the foolishness, to selfishness, and that allows us for the definitive encounter. These light entities revealed Chico Javier that the deadline for all this was July of 2019.
Did you say that there are already aliens here on Earth?
There are aliens living among us.
Sure. What is the theory? Are they like us? Maybe some of us? Could any of us be an alien and didn't know about it?
Look, Roberto, this is really interesting because there are around 60 different races that are coming to Earth with the most varied intentions. There are anthropomorphic humanoid head, trunk, limb-like beings like us. There are beings of 3 meters high, 2 meters, and of 10 centimeters, the little ones.
And where are those?
Why do we never see them?
The elves, the gnomos, the myths and legends, the people who saw them in the bush, a little elf, already know the information. Now, generally, those who seek the information the most are the ones who are most like us, or can assume an appearance like ours. Many times they are not as we are seeing it. They can change their appearance. There are like reptilian-looking beings. There are zoomorphic-looking ones. Those that are the famous Jinabul. There are beings that look like birds, the Jingal. You have the Urma, the Sekhmet, or the Sekem, which are the felines. These ones from the cartoon of Thundercats and everything is not too far from reality. That is why I tell you, there are amphibian beings.
But why afraid? Of what? They're dangerous?
No, because if they came with bad intentions, they would have made us dust a long time ago. They would have destroyed humanity. Nor would they have waited for us to develop nuclear weapons to defend ourselves.
Do you think that they are already related to any of them? As in large teams like this? That there are about 80 people here? Do you think that there could be one that could be an extraterrestrial?
There's more than one here that is from another world, if not ask the public. But outside of that, a good case, look, Enrique Castillo de Rincon, a Costa Rican contactee in the 1972 travels to Venezuela and Colombia for commercial reasons. He had in Venezuela a commercial partner, a European gentleman, tall, blonde, called Cyril Weiss. Then he goes to Colombia, and the entrepreneurs and everything, they do their business and everything, and they say, hey, Enrique, stay here, a very important contactee from Mexico comes called Karenka, a super great contactee and everything. This lady came, a person contacted, and everything, super great and everything. This person came with incredible experiences. Karenka tells them that he's going to have a contact behind the Montserrat mountain here in Bogota, in Colombia, in the area of La Calera. Come on. Then Enrique said that, come on, such a crazy people, and the others pushed him to go. So they were enduring the cold weather at night, and nothing happened. So he said, hey, what time are we leaving? Please, come on, crazy people. And suddenly, the UFO appears and descends, projecting a beam of light. 2 tall blonde beings in bright suits came down from the interior, and then he approaches, as an engineer that he was, Enrique Castillo de Rincon, and sees that one of those 2 gentlemen was his business partner in Venezuela. And he says, Cyril, what are you doing here? No, my real name is Krisnamet, and my partner here is Kromakan. We are aliens and we are infiltrated in your world, trying not to attract attention, but it is a way of measuring and evaluating the evolution of humanity.
Wow. All of this sounds like a movie.
Oh my gosh.
Since we are on television,
I am a reptilian.
we are not far from that fantasy.
Is that how good you treat them? Oh my.
And can we have a love relationship?
Naturally, yes. Chapter 6 of the biblical Genesis says, when man began to populate the earth, they raised daughters, and seeing the sons of God, the angels of heaven, that the sons of men were beautiful before their eyes, they took from among them how many they wanted, and created from these the ancient beings of yesterday. That is, if someone had made the idea that all the angels were immaterial beings with a girl's face and wings on their backs, they're totally wrong, because the same Bible tells us that some of them behave like sailors in a distant port and leave them the family spread.
Sixto, how many predictions has Chico Javier had that have been true? Meaning, how many predictions has he had that have actually been fulfilled?
Well, with extraordinary precision, 3. Although he has several hundred predictions. And I just wanted to invite the public for this day, Monday, from 7 at night, we will be in the Center CREA in Prosperity 92 in the colony Escandon, giving a conference.